This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, Authentic Muay Thai Lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Hello, this is Jonathan over at the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. First, this is a milestone episode. We have hit episode 100. So today I have a special guest friend, Mr. Sammy Mongonia from Texas. He's a pro fighter. I've seen him develop as like an amateur, coming up through the rankings and pro ranks. We talk a lot. I think you guys will really enjoy this podcast. Very excited to have it as our 100th episode. Don't forget to leave a comment and a review on this. It's, I'm very excited. Well, sit back, enjoy the podcast. All right, we're here with Sammy the Bull Mongonia. Where in Texas are you again, Sammy?
We're in Spring, Texas, about 45 minutes from downtown Houston.
Nice, man. Basically, we haven't caught up. We're talking a little bit. You've been up to a lot, man. You've been actively fighting still. As you can tell by the logo in the background on the screen here, you opened up your own gym.
Yeah, we did, man. I've worked full time my whole career in fighting, and I pretty much have known you. I want to say dang near my whole career, actually. A couple of fights when I first met you, I think.
I met you at W, like officially at WKA, but we've been talking online. My friend Frank introduced us. He's like, yo, you got to check these guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we've definitely done a lot since I've met you, for sure. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we catch up everywhere we go.
Yeah. It's always cool to see your progression through your fight career and coming into, opening up like a Muay Thai academy and sharing what you know with everybody and having the support of your coach and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Your coach, Mark Beecher, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I haven't had him on here yet.
Yeah, that's one you should have on. That dude's always.
I need to go. I visited his academy. It was in 2020. I was out there for like a day trip, and I went and hung out with him for the day. So definitely, for anybody that's listening or watching, if you don't know who Mark Beecher is, first of all, smack yourself.
Yeah.
And go look. The dude's been everywhere.
He's actually the guy who actually designed our logo for us.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I kind of told him, I was like, had a little app. I didn't really have anything. And it was kind of like just to kind of start off a little bit about the gym. It was one of them deals where, man, I was depressed at work. Been working full time my entire career. And I put all my eggs in a basket pretty much at work and doing Muay Thai. And I was been working at the same company for about 15 years, got depressed about waking up in the morning, just not doing good financially, just everything. And the only other thing I could do is really open up a gym and talk to my wife. And we kind of went from there. But I was sitting there talking with Mark and telling him, and he was like, man, you know what? I tell you what, he's like, bro, let's try to get you something going. Once the logo was made, it was all over from there pretty much. Like once I sat down there and looked at it, I was like, okay, this is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. So like they just having that logo kind of like, okay, this is real.
Yeah. As soon as the logo happened, I was like, we're doing this. Like It's not maybe if, maybe one day or something. It's
happening. Yeah. It's happening. Yeah. It's always good to see like, how people's different stories about how this happened. I like yours. I rock your shirt sometimes with it's the sugar skull, right? The one that's right behind you. Yeah. With the mustache. But man, you shaved your mustache.
Yeah. People, it's funny because I've been in fight camp for the last like year or so. So like I rotate out. Well, what people don't know too is like I usually have a beard or I'm clean shaved, and then whenever fight camp starts, that's when I grow the mustache out, and it's kind of like the fight face.
Got it. That's pretty. Pretty iconic for you then, huh?
Yeah. So the video of like me like shaving into the mustache, and then usually fight news comes like pretty much right after that.
Mm-hmm. So, kind of going into your fighting and stuff, what got you involved in Muay Thai?
My brother, he is the one that really got me into it. My dad passed away, and it was something for us to like see each other and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So we started. I never really decided to fight really till like I was about a year in. I was there just working out with my brother, and then after that, it just kind of took off from it. I never thought I'd open my own gym and do it, feed my family with that for sure.
Yeah.
Shoot, 3 years ago, I would, or really even 2 years ago, I'd have told you no, I never would open my own gym for sure.
I understand implicitly, man. It's like, no, I'm not done yet. No, I don't want to open it right now. But honestly, like once you get your feet under you and stuff, you're like, oh crap, I'm glad I did this when I'm still young.
Yeah, for sure. It's not trying to figure things out when I'm older,
Yeah, when it really matters, and your energy is not as high, it's still good, but it's not the same,
Yeah.
So definitely, man. What's for your fighting and stuff like that too? You've been fighting professionally and stuff like that. What got you to like flip that switch? Like, hey, I need to start fighting and getting paid.
Well, obviously, I was in the Muay Thai scene where like there was really no pro. If you went pro, you'd fight once a year. You know what I mean? Or you had to go overseas, and you're still paying to fight. So one thing I can say is like in my career, I've got close to 60 fights, but I've obviously fought in Thailand, Malaysia, other places, Mexico, and it's one of them deals where it's. I fought a lot of stateside, so it's one of those where like you have to figure out in stateside fighting of like each state you go to, man, they score differently. You know what I mean? But when the opportunity arose for me to be able to stay active as a pro and be able to fight, that was it was the time for me to go. You know what I mean? I mean, I obviously had the experience, but I had to wait for a time where I could actually like stay active. That was my main thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like at that point, you're really active on the tournament scene and everything like that too, fighting anybody you could. And that kind of goes like, there's a lot that's going on. To our followers on TikTok, they have a great question here. They're asking about like, is there a world championship in Muay Thai? And I would say like, obviously the elephant in the room right now in Muay Thai is one championship.
Yep.
Is that something you're trying to shoot for?
That is something that's definitely on the table. I got a call. I don't want to talk about it just yet.
Yeah, I understand.
About with an opportunity to possibly fight for a road to that. So we'll see. There's on the door. Right now, I'm getting older. And I'm taking any opportunity. I don't like to sign with just one organization, and I tell people I like to be able to float and be able to fight wherever I can.
Yeah.
Muay Thai still isn't a big paying thing. Obviously, one is the top one to fight for right now. I mean, all I hear is good things about them,
Yeah.
So.
And talking about like one and everything like that, do you happen to see the any of the highlights from Jalil Barnes versus Onion Topic?
No, I didn't actually.
That's why I was busy watching right before we jumped on here. That's why I was a little bit late. But seeing like those, like you said, the Road to One championships, and they're talking about having that in the U.S. and stuff as well, with the $100 million injection from ONE FC from that Chatri got together. I think it's going to create a lot more opportunities right now for people like you to be able to still capitalize on that stuff too. Because how old are you, Sammy?
I'm 36, so
36.
So as far as like I'll be 100% honest, bro. Every fight's my last fight. Like I'm literally,
you just never know.
Yeah. So it's like, but I mean, I still feel like I can get in there and hang with the guys. I'm fighting younger guys most of the time. I'm still out there. I mean, in my gym, I still have a lot of miles in my body too as well. But at the same time, I feel good in the ring right now. I feel the smartest I've ever had. I think I have the best team I've ever had behind me right now. So it's really like, it's all coming together, you know?
That's good, man. Well, I think that comes from just about how you've done everything right. You know, when it comes into like from your amateur stuff, and it's a really good model, and it's kind of the stuff that, you know, we're trying to do, because I saw it through these tournaments. It's like, whoa, this is like the best investment because it keeps you active. Do the fight nights when you can. Basically fight everybody until there's really no one to fight, and then get to the point where it's like, hey, I can line up some experience for professional. Whether, like, I know you were going to Mexico and stuff like that too. Was your first pro fight down in Mexico?
No, my first pro fight was in No Boundaries, actually, up in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Oh, okay.
So I fought pros in Mexico, but I didn't paid for it. If that makes sense. So,
yeah, it does. Yeah, I understand. They call it semi-pro.
Yeah, I got the taste of pro, but just went out there and had a good time, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever go on to the IFMA team or anything like that?
So I fought for the IFMA team. I got picked 2014, and I think I had 8 fights at that time. And so I got picked for that. And then I went out there and I did okay, but I wasn't, going from 8 fights to the world stage like that. Kind of in my head a little bit.
It's fucking hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah. Out there, I mean, my weight class, 67 kilos is
that's competitive
in the world. You know what I mean? Every good fighter you mostly hear of outside of the U.S. is my weight class. So whenever I fought, kind of got in my head a little bit. It's a huge arena. You got one person per weight class per country. When you look at mine, it was like opposed to like other weight classes. So it kind of got in my head a little bit. I did okay, but but it did set a fire in me that I can say that, of a lot of people that are coming up, they don't really want to spend money competing. They don't want to invest in themselves. And I'll be 100% honest. I fought 2014. Some people were like, oh, well, why'd he get picked? There's other fighters that could have whatever, this and that. I'm like, yeah, they could have. But I got picked. And then the Arizona, they did the Open, and they did like a trial basically. And it, instead of being cowered down and be like, oh, well, I didn't get, I wasn't the right person, or people saying certain things. No one talked crap, but they made me feel like maybe I wasn't the right one for the job, So 2015 and 2016, I pretty much took every title from the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and went 23-0 that year, and took on the position again. And now at that time, no one could say anything about me fighting for IFMA. You know what I mean?
No big deal. No big deal. By the way, no big deal. So that you said that was in 2015.
That was 2015 to 2016.
So that's like when I met you at WKA in 2015, and I saw you go on this freaking kill streak through all the tournaments.
Yep.
Dude, you had I'm gonna say it's like the iconic green top 10 headgear, and it had like some marks on it. Were you putting like teardrops on there or what?
It was funny because I was at the TBAs and bought that headgear. It was the only one they had. And I was like, dude, this thing's like a lime green. Like, I was like, ugh. So I got paint, and I put like paint of like different stuff on it. And every time I fought, like markings were coming off of it. I marked on it more. That one's actually over Hyena right now. A lot of his guys fight with it. But my pro and amateur career, I fought with that one. It was funny because I didn't mean it as the icon of like being me, but when I would fight for like the big tournaments, and no one else had that headgear for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because they saw that one come on, they didn't know my name, but they would see that headgear and be like, oh, it's out over here. Yeah.
They're like, hey, it's that guy again.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's kind of helped me out over the years too. So
yeah, that's how I'd always spot you. I'm like, oh shit, Sammy's in the ring. Like I knew that was your headgear, and then like you said, no one else had it because it's a freaking ugly ass color.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. And like going on that streak, and it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's to prove everybody wrong, but it's to prove yourself right.
100%. And you can look the way you want to look at that. It was the right decision. You know what I mean? And I'll be 100% honest. I was getting back to about, and I've told people this too. spending money as far as in fighting is only investing in yourself.
Mm.
Every you spend $11,000 that you have no clue what you did with, whether it's a gas station, whether it's going out to eat with your friends, having a beer, freaking whatever it might be, just going to the movies. I spent about almost close to $12,000 in fighting. And you think to yourself like, man, that's a lot of money. It is, but I guarantee you every year you spend that amount of money that you have no clue what you did with.
Yes.
And I can tell you that I literally went 23-0 in 1 year. And if I could spend that $11,000 again, do it again, I would do it again.
Yeah. And that's, it's interesting. Thank you for sharing that too, because it's something that like I've asked before for people is, like for you, the amount of years you've been training, what is that worth? Right. Yeah. And, for like, now you're going to the gym. Now those expenses are much higher in Muay Thai, right? Because you're spending more in investing in not only yourself, but your team and your program and stuff like that too. It's definitely investing in yourself is never a loss, right?
And people don't realize that, man. It really is. It's gave me a lot of experience. And like, you don't have to be a good fighter to be a good coach. You don't have to be a coach to be a good fighter. But I've pretty much have coached my entire career. So it's not like I'm a pro fighter trying to open my own gym. Now I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
No.
Coaching at the same time. So like, and now it fuels my guys here. We've only been together for about 1.5 years, and we've probably already had 60 fights out of my gym, like not including, you know what I mean? Took a lot of good gyms. And we're, the method that I use for myself is what I use for my guys,
Yeah, you have your program down pretty tight, right? So
yeah, working it pretty good now.
So like for kind of going on back just real quick on the investing in yourself and everything too. So I think this is for anybody that's listening, watching this, things with Muay Thai, and I'm sure you'll agree, Sammy, is like, that's the equivalent of like going to go get a degree, like, or going to a trade school, investing in yourself in trade school, but there's no regulation on it. So it's not like, hey, you're going to pay $12,000 over the next 1.5 to 2 years and you're going to get X, Y, Z. Right. It's like you had to figure that out, right? By having like a good mentor or a good coach.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, obviously I worked on a Mark Beecher for a long time. I was fighting before I was with him. We met actually in IFMA. And then he wound up coming back here. We wound up kind of working together. I probably went 40 fights with him, I think. Even before now, like with him running his gym and me running mine, and we're about an hour from each other, so we don't get to train and see each other that much. But he'll probably know who's coming up on my roster. He'll be like, hey, you need to do this. Even before fights, I'm looking down at my phone. I'm about to go in the ring. He's shooting me a text. Hey, make sure what we talked about, blah, blah, unless he's in the corner himself.
Yeah. Oh, in your corner, no matter what, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Like I said, doing it right, man. Kind of going into your, like you're talking about standards for training for your team and stuff like that. Going into, like you said, you're not new to coaching, but if you could give like a piece of advice to any coaches out there who are new, right? Who have a hard time setting standards for their team. They kind of, this, hey man, I want to fight. Hey, and this kid's been showing up every day for like 3 months, right? But he's new. Where do you set the standard? When do you say, hey, someone's ready?
That's the good thing and the beauty about the good and bad about Muay Thai is we're not really a belt system unless it's like, some people are doing like the Praji bands. We do that here unless we do it for the kids to kind of give them goals. I tell the guys when they're older, I'm like, hey, bro, if you want a pat on the shoulder, you got to fight. I don't know how to tell you, you know what I mean? So what we do is, and I had to really break this down because I didn't mean my gym to be like a fighter gym. You know what I mean? We try really, obviously my family's here, my wife, my kids are training. But at the same time, like to set those standards, obviously someone being there all the time, hungry, you know what I mean? And I actually had to set standards. I actually have a paper on the wall and I like tell people, they ask me like, oh, well, when can I fight? You see that paper over there on the wall? When you start meeting those requirements, that tells me that you're ready. Because here's the deal. If you do a smoker or you do a little in-house or something, you're not needing sweaters. So like I've seen guys in smokers or different things, like you're paying to fight, And if you're not correctly, I've seen guys get their jaws broke. I've seen them get their teeth knocked out. I've seen their, life can get changed. It's not like you're just going to like do a little tournament and tap out and be like, oh, I'm going to do the next one. No, you can go in there and get yourself hurt. And for me, I've made a list now that's because I would get these guys that would text me and they were training they've been signed up for 6 months, but they've been training once or twice a week, but lifting weights 3 times a week, like never showing up to sparring. They're not doing any of that stuff. So I'm like, you are not telling me that you want to fight. When you start showing me by your actions, then that means that's we're going to start going from there. If you can't make at least a little bit of effort on that paper, you don't want it that bad. You just want the fame of going to IG or Facebook being like, yo, what's up, TikTok? I'm doing this, doing that. No, like you can get yourself seriously hurt. So I set a regimen of stuff that, hey, they need to be running these amount of miles. You need to be in class this many times. You need to be per week. You know what I mean? And you keep up with, then okay, let's go a little bit,
Yeah. And I have Coach Ryan. He's the founder of the Santa Barbara Academy and chief instructor there. He's on TikTok right now, and he agrees with you because he did jiu-jitsu also. He's like, yeah, it's not like you can just tap out and do a tournament next weekend.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, and like you said, your life can change. Like our friend Matt Lucas, man, that guy had to get plastic surgery.
Yep.
And that was from an amateur fight. It was like, I think it was like a second fight or some shit. So, it's, and having those standards and enforcing them, is big. That's one of the reasons, like, I don't know if you saw, I have a book. I don't know. Did I send you a copy?
No.
Dude, I'll hook you up. But it was like the guide that we used internally, right? For like, hey, these are our standards that we would go over for people. And then COVID happened. And, speaking of, Matt was the person who's like, hey, you probably have something you could put out and sell. I'm like, shit, man, I don't know if we're going to make it through COVID. So I might as well like just put all this stuff out there so someone else can use it. But having those standards, like you said, to point to and be like, hey, when you're doing this, then we can talk.
Yeah. That's a good way of just keeping people safe. You know what I mean? I had a guy come in recently that was from another gym, and he came in and, obviously every gym has a different everything, you know what I mean? Whether it's dropping the hand, keeping the hand up on the kicks, touching the top of the knee, throwing the knee with the hand down. Everyone has their own kind of particular way of doing things, right? So he was training, and he asked me a question. It really wasn't about fighting. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, to be 100% honest with you, I wound up signing him up. And I was like, this is our pricing. I wound up eventually, his wife started training with us too as well. I told him to get your wife in here too, so that now you're not just leaving the gym for 3 hours out of the day, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, an hour and a half training, you know what I mean? So her getting involved and seeing us as a family molding together, and even having their kids, our place is pretty kid friendly. Why I say that is some of the guys will be training, like with the women's class, she'll be taking that. He's watching the kids, or we're running with the stroller. And then after that, the fighter class, he's watching the kids. So it was a thing, but it was funny though, because I sit there and talk with him. He was really kind of picking my brain. And I was like, look, bro, you got experience. I've seen you do work. If you're wanting to do something with this is not a sales pitch. You could probably do something with it. But though, I was like, if I'm going to waste my time with you in the get-go, because as a coach, every 3 months there's a brand new fighter that's going to be a big, amazing fighter. You know what I mean? Then he gets a girlfriend or gets a job or something that happens that changes, or he just loses interest. And I told him, I looked him straight in the eyes and I said, hey, bro, don't waste my time. And he looked at me and looked directly back and said, don't waste my time. And he's been here ever since. He wound up fighting for me, and he's climbing his ranks really quickly. So he's putting the effort in there. On my fight camps, he's out there grinding with us too. So that kind of stuff is what makes you want to pull those guys forward.
For sure, man. And talking about getting it, and that's one of the things that we do also. And that's somebody from experience, is getting the family involved. So that way they understand they can come hang out with you. They can hang out while they train. They don't need to be like, keep it separate. It's like to understand that it's not them trying to stay away from that person. It's like they're literally chasing their passion. That's really awesome, man. Coach Ryan said 100. Like you hit the nail on the head with a lot of stuff that, like, I see the places that are the most successful in that capacity are doing these things that you're doing. So kind of going forward a little bit now, You know, it's funny. I was scrolling through like Facebook feed, and I see you in an MMA fight. I was like, oh, dope. Like, I didn't really read the caption. I'm like, oh, Sammy's doing MMA. Oh, sucks he lost. And then I see a post a couple days later, and I found out it was a Muay Thai fight.
Yeah.
So, like, tell me, like, and this is the reason I thought it was an MMA fight. I see you on the ground with, like, you know, in a down position, and a guy ground and pounding you, essentially, with MMA gloves in a cage. So, I guess, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I took a fight. I found out that I got asked about if I had any 155ers and different deals for a fight up in Vermont. And starting this off, nothing against my opponent, nothing against the promoter. The promoter was amazing. I chatted with the fighter. I have a big problem with the ref for sure. And there was, man, when I say a cluster F, like, bro. So obviously you got a mixed next. They're trying to bring the small glove Muay Thai in a cage, which is like one championship's doing. But if you don't have the right refs, the right people to incorporate that,
there it is. Yeah. So,
it was actually supposed to be a 155 title at first. I told the guy I wanted to do 147 because I don't fight at 155. I haven't traveled in a while. I've been with my dietitian, D. I've been walking at a weight, which I've never done my entire career except for my last 3 fights. This one, we wound up doing a 12-hour travel. It's been a while since I've done that. I touched ground, started to cut weight a little bit, was off. I was like, I landed, I was like 149, put some weight on from the plane. I was like, fuck. So I went to go cut weight. Wasn't feeling good, hit the promoter up, told him, hey, look, can we make this? It was supposed to be a 155 title anyways. Can we come up a couple of pounds and just so we can both be safe? Because I know he was having a hard time. Showed up there. We agreed on it. We went to weigh-ins, and I'll be 100% honest, bro. I'm okay being friends with anyone I fight. It's just business in the ring. Recently, I just fought one of my friends, touch gloves, and we are going to business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can laugh about it afterwards. Whenever I went out there, kind of pissed off the guy about not making the weight and stuff. They still made everything happen. I apologized to him. I knew he was having a baby pretty soon. So I wound up getting baby diapers and baby wipes. And I started walking up with them for weigh-ins. The promoter was like pulls out, hey man, what are you about to do? Like, I think I'm about to talk crap to this guy. And I was like, no, bro, he just had a kid like a couple of days ago. I want to like, hey, say welcome. I'm a dad. He's a dad. Like, this is what it's about, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
You know what I mean? They're kind of used to more of the MMA background where it's like everyone's trying to flex on you all the time. You know what I mean? So, but I showed up, we went. I'm not 100% sure, but looking back at my conversation, they did the rules meeting and stuff. I pulled the ref aside, the 2 refs, and I was like, hey, and like I said earlier, when you fight in other states, sometimes, like here when I fight in Texas, which I've only had a few fights, Muay Thai, Texas Muay Thai Championship has offered that opportunity for me to be able to fight here. And if I look across the crowd, the judges, and I don't recognize that person, I'm pretty much going to box. Like literally, you know, Thai scoring, it's body kicks are king, elbows, knees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you go to a different state, I might throw a body kick and he goes 1-2. He might win that exchange.
Yeah.
So what I do is I watch the fights before mine, see how they're scoring. Are they scoring with the aggression of the head being snapped back? You know, chess and checkers are on a board and they got little squares, but they're not played the same. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
I'll go ask the judges or whatever. And I think I pissed off maybe the ref. He was like a ref that's in the UFC right now, active. Personally, I think that guy should be banned from any martial arts or anything, period. I asked him, I said, hey, what's scoring? What do you guys want to see? The dude's like, I want to see Muay Thai. I was like, that's not what I'm asking. He's like, well, I want to see you fight and go. I was like, well, if you know anything about me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, like
know what angle to go from, So I asked him, and he just seemed annoyed with that. Well, whenever I got in the ring, I don't know, no clue. We were supposed to do 1 step per catch, which is more of a glory style. You can kind of no plowing, obviously, in Muay Thai, but we had about 3 steps, sometimes a fire and sweep or whatever. First exchange that we had went back and forth. I start body kicking because, it's little MMA gloves. You're not blocking crap. You block it, you're still taking power.
Yeah, getting damage still.
And when you're going against someone that's more of a brawler style, I was kicking across those forearms to make those heavy, So that was kind of our plan going into the fight. Started kicking across the forearms a lot. Got caught, got ran backwards about 3 steps, which is supposedly be 1 step per the ref. And I jumped up, grabbed the cage. The guy threw the kick and missed completely, which not gonna admit, not supposed to grab the cage, but I'm not used to a cage. Whenever in Muay Thai.
Do you use any Onnit products? I personally use Alpha Brain. You can hear my bottle right there. It's for increased memory and focus, daily cognitive support. I absolutely love this stuff. I take it a few times a week when I'm going through certain tasks, getting ready for podcasts, multiple podcasts back to back. It allows me to keep my mind sharp, ready to go, and to remember to stay on task. If you want to check it out, go check out the link in the show notes. It's something that will it's an affiliate link. So the way that works is by you clicking that link, if you ever make a purchase through there, that directly supports the podcast. So if you already use Onnit, we'd really appreciate it if you go check that out. We'll get back to the show.
When you go flying, you might grab a rope on the way down to keep yourself up. You flying out, might grab the rope. It's not, you're not supposed to, but it's a gray area. They're not going to just jump on you and start. Now, if you're clinching and you're locking up on the ropes or something, okay, I know what I mean. But a lot of times guys will jump, kick, grab the rope, or fall on top of the rope. And it's not supposed to be legal, but we're fighting.
It happens. It happens. Yeah.
Now, if I grab the rope and they're pulling me away from it, that's different. I did throw the guy threw it, ran me down. I jumped in the air, bounced off the cage, basically pulled a Spider-Man move. He got pissed off about that. Shortly after that, I slipped in the first round, you'll see the fight. I pointed at the ref. I was like, hey man, there's water in the ring. And it was literally, there was water everywhere. And his exact words were, watch where you're stepping.
But why that's important is it wasn't a canvas, right? It was vinyl.
Yes. So he came flying in. I threw a punch, slipped, fell on the ground. My natural reaction as a Muay Thai guy is to block yourself till you hit the ground. Once you hit the ground, you can pretty much stand up. I'm not thinking back. I think I was rocked before I stood up, and I took about 3 punches on the ground. And then as I went to stand up, I got caught again, basically put to sleep for a second. Well, when I stood up, I looked at the ref like, what the crap? And he just started counting on me. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? So my cornermen are all going crazy. Muay Thai is new to that area. So they think the MMA fans are like, yeah, like he got rocked, blah, blah. And like, I've never in my entire career have seen anything like that other than even just been involved in that. So I was like, okay, well, now I got to turn it up more. He's got to count on me. It's a 5-round fight. I can still pick this up. So I start going again with them, start doing what I'm doing. The ring's super slippery. The ref isn't doing his job, making sure things are clean. Normally in that situation, when I say wet, I'm not saying spray. I'm saying puddles in the ring. So I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to listen to my cornerman, try to listen to theirs. I got a guy I'm going against that's really tough. I'm also in a cage, new environment, and I'm also trying to remember where the freaking
water.
So a lot's going on in the ring other than just fighting the person in front of me. So going there, doing my thing, and then after that, I wound up getting knocked down again, which was basically we were in the clinch and basically got pushed down. I stood up again. He starts counting again. So now I'm like, fuck, I got 2 counts against me. Well, in a 5-round fight, you can still come back. Now I got to start making dominant a little bit. I'm not going to sit there and brawl with a brawler, but what I was like, all right, now I got to cut this guy, make him start looking like he's taking damage.
Yeah.
So then in doing a couple of rounds, I start throwing elbows now, start cutting him up a little bit. He had a pre-opened an open gash before, reopened that one up, opened another one on his head. Pretty much started pouring the blood out now. The ref kept getting upset with me about coming off the cage, or maybe I put my hand across it or something, kept warning me. And then the fifth round, I wound up, and this is a good thing you brought this up because there's a controversy that people were asking about. I threw a kick across his forearms, bounced back, touched the cage. The ref walked up, pulled a point for me. So now I got two knockdowns against me. Okay. Ground and pound. And then another one got pushed over pretty much. And depending on who you ask, getting thrown over the hip, hooked. And the reason why I've never done MMA is because I respect the ground game of MMA. It's something, I'm a Muay Thai guy. I'm not going to teach or do something that's something I don't do.
Yeah.
And getting my legs hooked or getting hip thrown, depending on who you ask, to me, they're hip throws and they're hooks. I'm like, man, the ref's letting everything happen. Well, after the point happened, he pulled a point. Now it's like, all right, everything's going out the window. Now I just got to knock this guy out. He's a tough guy. He's taking damage. Kicked this guy pretty much across his neck. I think I kicked pretty hard, and he took it like a champ. Yeah. Splitting the guy open, slowing him down a little bit, but not too much. At this point, he's got a kid. I literally thought in the ring, he's got a kid that's a couple of days old. Got other fights lined up. They're going to win. This ref wants it one way or the other, whether he just wants it this way. And I looked at the ref and I was like, you know what? All right, you got it, bro. You should have winked at me sooner. Maybe me and him wouldn't be so cut up. If you'd have let me know sooner, this is the way you want things, then I would have took a knee sooner. So I've never in my career ever took a knee, but I took a knee and I was like, all right, ref, I get it. This is what you want. Fine.
Yeah. And just to clarify for anybody that hasn't seen it, maybe they're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or just here on YouTube, is the big thing with this was you didn't just take a knee. You just sat down and be like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
It was just and honestly, it shows like in your class, like as a fighter, because like you said, the thing is the referee's supposed to protect you guys, right? Yeah. And he was not doing his job. And people die like that.
Yes. And you know, I talked to the guy that I fought, and, you know, talked about the ground, and he's done MMA before. And I told him, like, there's no disrespect towards you. Sometimes these guys, they see red and they just go, you know what I mean? Is he supposed to know the rule set? Yes. You know what I mean? But my job is to go in there and fight. His job is to go in and fight.
Yep. And the referee's supposed to be the intermediary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And whenever, then after that, the promoter came down, brought the referee with it. I'm in the back. I'm a little heated. I don't really like get out of line and start yelling at people, but I had some conversation with him, and I stopped before I was disrespectful. I told him, I'm not being disrespectful to you or my opponent or your ref. I was like, I will guarantee you though, that right now with Muay Thai, a Muay Thai with the small gloves in a cage is what people want to see in the States. I was like, single-handedly, that referee just destroyed your
concept. Yeah.
You know, concept, everything. Now people are going to look at you like guys as a joke, and I hope that isn't happening. I left saying, okay, this is it, whatever. Fighting Vermont again, probably not.
Yeah.
The promoter went from taking care of me and my team all the way through, making sure we got paid, all that stuff, everything that I possibly needed. He took care of everything.
Yeah, that doesn't fall on the promoter at the end of the day. Yeah.
One thing I want to clarify, he obviously has to pick the ref. The referee did go, and supposedly he had 20 years of Muay Thai experience. He's a UFC, whatever, this and that. I can care less. That dude, I would have exchange words with, because he's not. He could change someone's life. And I told the guy afterwards, I was like, when does it count? When someone dies, is that when you start caring about your game now? And his kept coming back to me touching the cage. And I was like, you know what? I was like, how does me touching the cage have anything to do with me getting my brains beat in on the ground?
Yeah. And for anybody that might not understand how that looked, the perception, like you said, nothing against your opponent, that falls on the referee not stepping in. So you go down, the referee's supposed to come in right away. As soon as your 3 points touching, if your gloves touching the ground, your knees touching the ground, that's a downed person.
I literally was reffing a smoker at a gym the week before, and I stepped in and took a kick because I was trying to make sure that this guy was okay because he got rocked. I still stepped in and took a kick the week before my fight. This guy's getting paid. I'm not even getting paid to help, and I'm helping. I took a kick. This guy's just staring there. Not only is he literally watching me get hit on the ground, he's standing there holding the cage and looking at me.
I like the reenactment because that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so it was like, I'm like I said, I'm not slandering the organization. They also too made sure that they came back. It got what's it called? They basically took the loss away from me. Make sure they went to the state and took the loss away. They wound up still letting him have the title, kind of give both grounds a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine, whatever. They asked me if I want a rematch. I was like, not ever, unless it's going to be like, with the situation, like I don't really want to. I'd rather just leave it there.
Yeah.
Would we fight again someday? Man, it's a pro circuit. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But they also too, he let me know that he let that ref know that he did not agree with the when we were talking down there, which upset the ref. He was saying that he not agreed with me, but was not agreeing with the situation. Got it overturned. I did. So the loss basically the loss didn't go on my record. And then he reached out and he felt so bad. He reached out. He was, they're going to be getting a canvas for the ring now. They're getting an organization to come in to actually.
This is the promoter, right?
Yes, the promoter. Yeah. So they're taking, it's not like I sat there and took one for the team, but I kind of took one for a team. You know what I mean? Mm. Like now they're going to be able to step up in that organization. So don't be afraid to go fight for those guys. If you see that ref at any time, I don't know the guy's name. I'm not going to slander anyone, but if you see any videos, that ref is.
Well, I don't know who his name is, but I will remember a face. And I will say this about it. You're being really class act on it, but somebody can die. And if you're watching this, man, or you're listening to this, just please, take the time to sit back. I'm sure he's a martial artist at some point. Get back to that beginner. Yeah, get back to that beginner mindset, man.
Yes.
And go back and learn from the people who are doing this at a high level in Muay Thai only. Yeah. If you had 20 years of Muay Thai experience, then, hey, cool, you should go back and you should always be re-educating, right?
Yes. As a pro fighter myself and experience I have, I go places and learn other things, man. I'm a constant, I'm not the same fighter I was last year as well. So he should be the same thing. He should not be the same ref as last year.
Mm-hmm. Because and for me, I work as a referee and stuff too, and I'm like, dude, the ground and pound thing. If that happened, that's supposed to be immediate point deduction because that's a blatant foul, right? Yeah. And it's very important for them to understand that at that point, it's supposed to be you gotta be firm as a ring official, and that was just showing, being passive, in my opinion, for Muay Thai. Like you said, you're a smoker, you jumped in, saved the guy, right? He's down or he's hurt, but for him to just sit there and stare at you, it's not good. Yeah, and then start counting you. It's wait, what? It's not MMA. It's completely different rule set. And this goes into there's no excuse for the lack of education on these ring officials anymore. There's none. So it's purely ignorance and being stubborn. It's an old school mindset that, hey man, it's time to get back to the drawing board and try to figure out. I hope he gets served a suspension from officiating pending review and re-education and review, because hey, maybe he can come back to it and learn. But until he shows that, I hope there's some action taken upon with a ABC or someone like that for this guy, because someone can die, and then that puts a tarnish on the person who kills the person and the sport, the promoter, the referee, everybody across the board. So
yeah, and for the Muay Thai community, I literally set my phone down. Obviously in the fight, picked it back up. I got 70 something texts from people. I got people from WBC. I got people from the TBAs. I got people they're all like checking to make sure that, you know, and then they're wanting to get involved with it because they were like, hey, these referees need to make sure that they need to come take our courses. They need to be certified through us so that they can make sure these people are safe. You know what I mean? It's not just people just trying to make money, and they're trying to better people's lives, better the community that we're doing, and at the same time, protecting people in the they want to play. This is the key word that people don't realize when we fight. It is a sport.
Yes. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, yes, does it roll over into self-defense? Yes, does it, can you get yourself hurt? Yes. But at the same time, it is a sport. When I'm going in there, yes, I want to cut someone up. Yes, I would like to put someone to sleep. Do I want to change someone's life where they're sitting there a vegetable for the rest of their life? No. I would probably, if I found something out like that, I would definitely quit. Like, and it's the same thing for my guys, man. If someone were about to go through something in the ring, that changes my life too as well, because my heart is there when they're fighting. It's not just them going in there doing the thing. I'm in there too with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, going back on what we were talking about earlier about making sure that our what's our standards and different things. Like, I got to know that you're safe when you go in there. You know.
You have to understand the rules and regulations of Muay Thai.
Yes, exactly.
Like front to back. You have to.
You as a gym owner, me as a gym owner, as the TBAs, WKAs, all that stuff, all of us, we have to make sure that we are there to help each other out. I mean, I'll be 100% honest. When guys come in to check out my gym, if you don't like the environment here, I'm going to tell you that you're going to need to go to either Heritage. You can check those guys out. You need to go to Hyena, Marks. You go check those guys out. And if you're going to do that, that's pretty much in Texas where you're going to really need to go. If you're in this area, if you like that gym better, awesome. That's what fits you. Go for it. You want to be excited to wake up in the morning to go train. You want to feel safe. You want to be able to be excited to see your training partners. You know what I mean? So I want to everyone incorporating that. And we send each other people all the time. Yeah.
And that's the thing is something I'll always bears repeating is no one's getting rich doing Muay Thai.
No, bro.
But no one's getting rich doing Muay Thai. It's important for people to understand that the sanctioning body, like it's because we like this. It's something we enjoy doing. It's part of like our lifestyle of our day to day. Like, for you, that's why you opened up a gym. You're like, I'm depressed when I'm not doing this, going to work and shit. And
100% honest, like, I don't want to say our gym is we've had numerous stories of like, people going through depression, going through breakups, going through this, going that. And they just, this weekend I stayed up till 3:00 in the morning chatting with someone that was just going through some stuff. And, above, not all coaches do stuff like that. Was I tore up the next day and I had to call one of my guys to come cover class because I was tired? Yeah. But at the same time, like, I was there for that person. We're not always able to do that for everyone. But at the same time, like, if I'm going to be there and I'm going to be here to change your life and help mold you into something that you're wanting to be, I do that. You know what I mean? And it's not like that. But at the same time, like, I don't want to say our gym is a lighthouse in a dark place, but it really, people are coming in from all different walks of life, whether they make money, they're in between jobs or this, that, all kinds of stuff. And try to make sure that what you instill in here, if you take that and you take it out to the real world, the work ethics that we use here, you can achieve anything. You sat there and talked about earlier about, there's no actual like going to school for Muay Thai and this and that. There are little certificates here and there. But at the same time, like, I've done this for going on 17 years. I could have been a judge. I could have been a lawyer. I could have been so much, but this is the route that I've chosen. And I'm happy to be where I am to this day.
Good, man. I think it's well said. There's a youngin inside of our chat here. I want to just push this past you. I know what the answer is, but I want to respond to him real quick. So he's asking, do you reckon if I am training at a gym once a week, but the other days I'm training at home, would I still be able to go pro at some point? So, And I'll let you answer. I know the answer to this, but I want to hear your take on what you would tell this youngin.
Okay, to be 100% honest, I got guys I tell my guys, you need to be in the gym at least 4 days a week. The problem with training at home is that if you're training at home, no one's critiquing you. You might even create a bad habit on yourself. My gym, would I let someone fight out of my gym that's training 1 day a week at the gym and off by themselves? No, they don't wear my flag. That flag right there, you're not wearing it. Like, very simple.
Yeah.
Now you come into sparring and say, hey, I want to go a little bit. I like get two guys together. I'm like, all right, y'all want to go and test your chin a little bit? Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
And real quick, the difference between someone training 4 to 5 days a week in the gym opposed to getting just hitting a bag. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. You can hit the bag and progress. I personally can't stand the bag.
But you said 17 years, bro. I feel you.
Yeah, I have to hit tight bag, bro. I stare at a bag and I'm just like, all right, that's cool. Like, I don't have the discipline in that. I just don't, and as a gym owner, I have my pad holders. I even pay my pad holders, bro. Like, I'd rather just hold freaking 6 to 12 rounds for me and me to give you some money so that you can feed your family than me to go hit that bag by myself. Like, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that says a lot too. I feel the same way. Like, I always know that people are like, oh, I'm going to do this for you. It's like, cool. Hey, here's some cash. Well, you're going to pay me? Yeah. Like,
yeah. Very simple.
This is like at least something. Like, you have to.
I know what it's like to hold for high caliber guys. I've had pro MMA guys that I've had train over the years, fought Bellator and different stuff, and I never even got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from these guys. So I know what it's like to get taken advantage of, and I make sure that all of my guys here are never getting taken advantage of, whether I'm helping them out with a membership wise or I'm helping them out with family or whatever it might be. That, like, I want to know at the end of the day when I pass that people remember that. They remember me for who I am, not I guarantee you right now, if anyone ever, I have guys in my gym and my pad holder, for instance, Sonny, if you were to come up to him or come up to me and tell me something bad about him, you're probably not a good person. Like, that. It's very simple. And, like, I want people to think the same way about me. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, there's stuff that always happens and we are human, but at the same time, people remember me for who I am,
I hear you loud and clear, man. Yeah, I definitely. Kind of going on for this kid too. You're 15, man. I'll say, when you can get your car, you got time, bro. Like, when you get your car and you can start getting to the gym more, go in and start training more. So,
and don't let what I was saying, frustrate you. Let it fuel you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So get in the gym. Obviously, you're not driving right now. When you get those license, man, go live in that gym, bro.
For sure.
Get that crap. If you want it. It doesn't matter your type. It doesn't matter your genetics. If you want it, go get it. Very simple. And that's in and outside of the ring. That's the mentality you have to have.
Exactly. So do you think some of that mindset too for you was fostered through Muay Thai?
100%, man. Like, I'm one of those guys that I set goals, and, like, I'll be 100% honest. I may look all effed up because I'm all tattooed and whatever. I've never drank in my life. I've never smoked. I've never done any drugs. And the reason for that is not because saying certain things are bad. I just have an addictive personality. And my addictive personality is like, if I start something, I'm going to finish it. I like old school vehicles. I got a 1960 truck. I also have a 54. And I do not allow myself during fight camps to buy parts or mess with those vehicles. Screw myself over in training.
You know what? I feel you pretty implicitly on that, Sammy. I mean, it becomes an obsession. Luckily it's a healthy obsession, right?
Yeah.
You talk about goal setting. That's what on these papers over here I stare at every single day for all that stuff. Pretty integral skill. Kind of going through to wrap everything up here. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Obviously, Mark Beecher's been there through my entire gym career. My pad holders, Sonny, I don't know if you guys saw that post about my wife not too long ago, but she's literally, I always talk about how somebody's helped me out with this and helped me out with that. When I'm cutting weight, she's there. When I'm dieting and watching eating, she's there helping me fix everything. She's not only a mother, but a partner just in life. And I hope that everyone finds that person, you know what I mean? The guys from the gym fuel me every day. A big thank you to Sammy's, obviously, to the people that helped me get to where I am today, helped me to take the next step. Always these next steps, you know. She's a nutritionist. She's taken me to a whole nother step too, as well. And we're all helping each other out. You know what I mean? For having me on right now. I mean, I saw you had, bro. Me and you every time we see each other across wherever, we always come and chat with each other. You've known me since like the get-go, and like I was on here and be able to kind of show my heart a little bit, and between you and you've seen me my whole career.
Bro, this is like the kind of conversation we would just have when we're just hanging out. So that's why you're, what are we gonna talk about? Like, dude, don't worry about it. We're just gonna talk.
Yeah, 100%.
So, with that, man, I gotta ask you, left kick or right kick?
So I switch it around a little bit. So I like the left kick because I like to pop it straight off the ground. But if I'm trying to take something from you, I'm gonna give you my right kick. Oh
shit! All right. I love it, man. How can people find you, find your gym, find it, you know, get a hold of you or anything like that on social media?
We stay pretty active on there. Sammy's Muay Thai. You can check us out on there. Give us a follow. Ask me questions, man. Anytime you send me a message, I guarantee I'll respond to you. I'm a real person. You can follow me, Sammy the Bull. That's kind of you might see a lot of stuff of my little man and my daughter. You might see some cars on there, but I post a lot of stuff from my fights and stuff too as well. If you're ever in Spring, Texas, man, feel free to drop in. Even if you're just coming in for a couple of days, you're from another gym, just come play.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm definitely have to come out and visit next time I'm out there in the area and everything too.
You got a place for sure.
Appreciate you. So, and anybody that's listening to this later on Apple iTunes, any podcast platform, Spotify, the link for Sammy's Instagram, all that stuff will be in the show notes. Definitely go check them out. Sammy, thank you so much for coming in today, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing.